TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What were your initial impressions of Vince McMahon?
Junior, I didn't meet Junior for a while. I met Senior. He's the one I went for, was Senior, really.
Right.
And Junior was just starting to talk. My initial impression was that, oh, this is a guy I can deal with. He's going to be honest with me, treat me right, and do what he says.
This was Senior.
No, this
Okay.
Senior was a great guy.
Right.
What he tells you, hey, Senior, it was gold.
Right.
What he told you, what he did. Junior, what he told me was all lies, all bull, and used me for everything he could get out of me, and then get rid of me.
Right.
And he did, and not only me, other guys, numbers of other guys, numbers of other guys. And, you know, it just surprises me that somebody hadn't already, did away with Vince Jr. Every week I wait and hear, say, well, did he get it this week?
Right.
Because he's run over many of people,
I guess what were your initial promises made by the McMahons to you when you first came into the territory?
Vince promised me that I would have no problems. Next 5 years, I would make I believe he said $1 million or more, millions of dollars, and I wouldn't have no place. I would never have to leave. I'd be there in that territory. That was my home. I was there. That was it. And of course, the way it looked, that's the way it's going to be.
Right.
And then it came up that Stossel deal. And
well, what's your opinion, Vince McMahon, that after he goes and tells you to do this with Stossel, and then a year later he comes out and says, "Hey, wrestling's fake," so he can get away with the commission taxes and all that. What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Well, it's a smart move on his part. Now you don't have to pay the taxes, commissions and all that. You don't have to have a license and all that. It's a good move for him. I mean, anything he does, I don't keep up with him no more. He's out of my mind. I try to forget this guy, everything he does. But this guy is pathetic. In my opinion, he should never be allowed to go on TV. He should never be allowed to produce a wrestling show or any other kind of show. And, they actually have got tapes of mine that I was going to do a book one time. And they had all my tapes, all my interviews of people do the book, demanded I turn them over to them, their lawyers and all, and my lawyer. And my lawyer said, if you don't turn it over to them, you can't. I never write about these things because the court has ordered you to turn everything over. Turn them over, they never give them back. And the court ordered them to give them back, and they said they lost them. They got misplaced.
Right.
And very incriminating evidence against Vince and the WWF, and a lot of incriminating evidence against Vince McMahon. But they said they lost the tapes. Now, I don't have the tapes.
What tapes were they again?
I'm sorry?
What were the tapes?
The tapes were interviews with different wrestlers, different individuals about Vince, what he's done, what he did to people, how he did this, how he did that. And I was putting a book together.
Okay.
Wow.
So I said, well, that's, my lawyer told me it's not worth pursuing because it cost you millions of dollars against Vince.
Right.
And I said, well, we'll just...
You think anybody will ever come out with a book like that where they have a bunch of transcripts from various wrestlers, something like you had?
Well...
And what would be some of the shocking things that would come out? Or
well, you'd have a lot of stories about underage people. You'd have a lot of stories about that, I think. You'd have a lot of double dealing where somebody has told somebody to do something, or they had paid them to do something to somebody or hurt somebody or something. I imagine stuff like that would be the top, But people wouldn't believe it anyway because he'd go out there and say, this is sour grapes.
Right.
That's all. He'd buy TV time, say sour grapes or whatever.
Right.
But Vince McMahon, for his, I don't ever watch his show. I'll never watch his show. I don't watch him. I don't even care about hearing his name. He is pathetic as far as I'm concerned. And he should never be involved in any kind of entertainment, sports, or anything else. That's my opinion.
When the whole thing with Jerry Lawler came out with the underage girls in Louisville, what did you feel about that?
Well, I guess it just disappeared, didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't it just kind of get
Yeah.
Everybody dropped everything.
Mhm.
I don't know how much money was paid. Somebody had to get paid a lot of money somewhere, But, I think it's pathetic. A grown man to go out there and abuse a young girl like that. If it had been my daughter, he wouldn't be living today. Plain and simple. He would have been over.
How involved were you with the federal investigation into Vince McMahon?
Wasn't involved at all.
Okay.
Everybody asked me. They tried to serve me subpoenas, and I would not accept them. I would not. They tried to come to my house. I had the sheriff come out. Never could catch me at home.
Right.
And I didn't want to get involved in that because I know if I'd went to the court with that, I would have been hammered by his lawyers on the stand, and you can't speak, and they're going to tell you, and they're going to double talk this here, and I'm going to end up in jail.